Good afternoon, my dear lecturers and my dear students. We are Group 2. My name is Zakir and my colleagues are Abdullah and Lukman. So, to selected industry for this is to one of the two greatest telecommunication brand in Sri Lanka, that is Dialog and Mobitel. So, let us go into the brief introduction of Dialog and Mobitel. So, first let me talk about the Dialog. Dialog is Sri Lanka's largest telecommunication provider. They established in Sri Lanka in 1995, the largest mobile network in Sri Lanka. They have over 9.8 million users currently in 2014 in Sri Lanka. And also here is the small introduction of Mobitel. Mobitel is Sri Lanka's national mobile service provider. In 1993, they operated as third mobile telephone provider in Sri Lanka. But however, when days passed on, it became a wholly owned subsidiary of Sri Lankan Telecom in year 2002. They grew strength to strength. As day passed on, they grew strength to strength. They were the first 3.5G who introduced in Sri Lanka, and they have over 5 million customers all over island. So let us talk through the SWOT analysis of Dialog. First, the strength, the strong infrastructure development. They have a strong infrastructure development. In all over island, you can see a Dialog office, which means they have more money, so they are able to introduce a strong infrastructure development. And also with the brand name, they do CSR projects, and these have implemented strong public relation. And further, strong network coverage. Aggressive advertising and promotion. They have more aggressive and advertising and promotion. Partnership with Vodafone UK. Recently they have partnered with Vodafone UK, which is a great strength to them, so that they can merge with them and get some ideas and expand their business. The total asset is 112 million Sri Lankan rupees. More than 9.8 million users, which is a great strength for them. The weakness, high pricing on IDD calls and roaming. When you compare to the other brand, other telecommunication brand, they have high IDD calls and roaming. Decrease in quality of service in recent time. Main reason is because there are many customers, so they are unable to handle every customers at each time. So to respond to this, they can go and recruit more employees so that they can handle more customers at the same time. The opportunities, Wi-Fi in all areas. They can go for Wi-Fi in all areas. So to respond to this problem, to this opportunity, they can introduce a satellite system and implement a Wi-Fi for the Dialog users, which will attract many customers. Can go for business diversification, which means for a new market, new industry, they can seek and they can do research and they can go for business diversification. Can introduce Vodafone UK as well. And here is a trend, high competitive environment. All over Sri Lankan island, there are a high competitive environment like Mobitel, Airtel and Etisalat. So to overcome this problem, they have to be more competitive all over, competitive than the competitors, so that many customers will be attracted to them, they can survive in the market. Already they are. Constant changing technologies, and with other threat is high inflation level. So here is the SWOT analysis of Mobitel. The same with them, they have a strong brand name and strong network coverage. Skilled workforce. If you look at Mobitel, they have a skilled workforce. Their employees are very skilled and they can handle many problems which they are which the consumer is facing. So this is a great strength for their company. Backing of government, and they do strong CSR project. As other thing, they do CSR project which have made them their public relation and goodwill of the company to increase. And they have over 5 million customers. And the other strength is M-ticketing, which means they can book train tickets through Mobitel through M-ticketing. Total asset of 108 million. The weakness is level of motivation to the internal employees is decreasing. That is because the employees they concern more on money rather than reward. If they are giving reward, that will motivate employees. And same thing with Dialog. They have quality of service decreasing. That is main reason is, as I said, with Dialog. And also opportunities to be a partner with an overseas broadband and technology advancement with 5G mobile communication. They can do research on this 5G telecommunication and they can introduce this 5G network first time ever in Sri Lanka. And a highly competitive environment. Still they also have a highly competitive environment and less barriers to entry, and other threat is political risk. So the next slide of the comparison between Dialog and Mobitel will be did by my colleague Lukman. So he will continue my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Zakir. I am Lukman. Good afternoon, everyone. My part is comparison between Dialog and Mobitel. Recently, years declined in profit 7.24 billion in year 2013. This is a whole world profit for Dialog, and average profit 757 million in 2013. This is a Sri Lankan profit for Mobitel. Price is bit higher compared to Mobitel. Dialog is a high price for Mobitel, and no one can beat them pricing. Mobitel is a low pricing. Example, Mobitel giving the new packages, more internet packages and SIMs. 3G network. 3G network is Dialog is a everyone using 3G network. 3G network lazy. Sales team is aggressive in some ways. Sales team is a promotions are aggressive in Dialog, and sales team is non-aggressive. Best GSM coverage. Best coverage in all area of Sri Lanka in Dialog, but Mobitel is coverage is reasonable, but network is always busy for Dialog, for Mobitel, sorry. Strategic mapping, high quality. Dialog is a high quality, but price is high and low. But Mobitel is a high quality but low price. Etisalat is a high quality, high price but low quality. Airtel is a low price and low quality. And end of my part, and I would like to Mr. Abdullah.
Thank you, Mr. Lukman. And these are the PESTEL factors for Dialog and Mobitel. As you can see, there was a general election in Sri Lanka, which was a major political change in Sri Lanka. President Maithripala Sirisena brought a new regime change, as it was 100 days of government. So in this they brought more changes to the government, where they was mostly focused on FDI and increased tourism. As you can see, they brought some taxes. From the past years, the Dialog and Mobitel, they have gained more than 2 billion profit. That means they have to pay 25% of their taxes to the government, super gain tax. So that is a major drawback for Dialog and Mobitel. And for the past 2 decades there was terrorism. Now there is no terrorism, so they can do their jobs very much easily, and they could create more satellites and provide more coverage to all islands in Sri Lanka. And these are the economic factors. Unstable macroeconomic environment and trade policy has a negative impact on the industry. The fall of the exchange rate over the years happened on a gradual pace. Since there is a low pace in Sri Lankan rupee, they have to increase high prices on Dialog and Mobitel, have charged more prices, and there is high inflation in Sri Lanka. Because of that, they have to charge high prices from Dialog and Mobitel, which is a drawback for the Dialog and Mobitel. And this is the social factors. Better social conditions. Sri Lankans have a development index of 0.75, which is better than South Asian countries. High literacy rates, 98.1%. High life expectancy, 77.9 at birth, and they are well educated and trainable force, which means the Dialog and the Mobitel can train the Sri Lankan people very much and recruit more jobs, and they could provide high employability. And the Sri Lankans inherit a bureaucratic attitude from the colonial administration that results in inefficiency and discrimination. And these are the technological factors. As you can see, Sri Lanka mainly depends on technology transfers from foreign direct investments. They do much of research on foreign investments and direct investments, and they bring up the technology to this country. And the next is the country comparatively has not performed well enough to adapt technological changes on a timely manner. For example, the shift from analog to dialog, digital, and the adaptation of CDMA to technology materialized in a slow pace. TRCSL, that is Telecommunication Regulatory Commission in Sri Lanka, they encourage local research and local universities to do much of their research and bring up other technologies. And these are the legal factors. Telecommunication Regulatory Communication System, and they brought a floating price in 2010. As Airtel was a high new entrance for the market, they brought up a price 40 cents for all network. After the regulated price from the government, they had to charge ₹1 rupee for all network coverage, which was a major drawback for Dialog and Mobitel. and ensure fair enforcement of the government policy, which means they have to pay right taxes on right times, which is very much good for the government and the Dialog and Mobitel. And these are the references as you can see. And thank you.